Welcome to the Real Estate Pros Show, where we interview real estate investing professionals from coast to coast, as well as the service providers that serve the real estate investing industry. Our goal is simple: share what's working now to help you improve and scale your business to the next level and meet the pros that can help you get there. Real Estate Pros is powered by Investor Fuel, America's leader in helping real estate investors and professionals build the business you need to live the life you've always dreamed of. Let's start today's show. Property insurance for real estate investors doesn't have to be difficult, but it does need to be there to protect you when you need it. MyInvestorInsurance.com not only provides insurance at 15 to 30% cheaper than traditional agencies, it's built specifically for real estate investors like you. You can set up an account in about 2 minutes, get quotes on properties, turn on and turn off insurance for your fix and flip or rental properties in around 2 minutes without having to talk to anyone directly, all through our portal. There's no better way or faster way to make sure you've got the coverage you need to protect you, and no more lengthy policies either. Once you're set up, you're billed monthly and prorated by the day for however long your policy is active. It's powered by MSI, the third largest independent MGA, with 1.5 million customers and more than $1 billion in cumulative premiums written. Get set up today in about 2 minutes at myinvestorinsurance.com/fuel.
Welcome to the Real Estate Pros Podcast. I'm Mike Stansbury, and today I have a special guest in northeastern Pennsylvania, Miss Courtney Brenner. How are you, Miss Courtney?
I'm doing great, Mike. It's 75 degrees. That's awesome. How are you?
That's great. So, yeah, summer's coming. Spring's here. Summer's coming. Folks, the Real Estate Pros Podcast is brought to you by Investor Fuel. We help real estate investors, service providers, and real estate entrepreneurs 2 to 5x their business to allow them to build a business they've always wanted and allow them to live the lives they've always dreamed of. And again, we've got the pro today in Real Estate Pros Podcast, Courtney. Courtney, start with the origin story of how you got in real estate. What were you doing beforehand, and how did you navigate into the world of real estate?
Absolutely. So I got my bachelor's degree and just wanted to move to Boston. So I moved to Boston with my college roommate, and I was on the fence about law school. So I decided to work in the industry for a year. Got a job right downtown in that amazing city as a paralegal, and decided immediately I wanted to go to law school the following year. So I did. And the experience I got at that law firm was largely estate planning, a little bit of probate, and of course, with all of that comes a ton of real estate. So I kind of dove right in right after college, which, should I tell you how long ago that was?
Well, we can keep it. We say it was a while ago. That's it. Yeah.
It's 25, 26 years. So I've been, in real estate in one way or the other since 1999, last century. And went to law school. My practice was largely probate, inheritance tax, real estate, corporate transaction, very transactional. And just as a natural progression, I ended up getting my real estate license, and now I do that in property management.
Okay, so but you're in law, so you do have a law degree, correct? Or am I hearing that right? Or, okay,
I do.
So you have a law degree, but you're in property management. So I have to beg the question: is it just a lot more fun? I mean, why?
It is.
Yeah,
it is more fun. It's a lot more fun. I very much loved, the traditional practice of law, if you will, which I did for several years right out of law school. But, I think I just have a more entrepreneurial spirit, and that wasn't so much for me. This is a lot more my speed. So I love it.
So in Massachusetts and Pennsylvania, did you ever have a desire to own a title company or do closings, or did you ever do that for a little bit since you had your law degree? In Tennessee, where I'm from, you have to have an attorney. It's attorney state. So I just didn't know if that was something that you ever dipped your toe in.
I did. I did residential, commercial closings. I did refinances. I did a little bit of everything.
Stop living on an island and join the #1 mastermind in America for professional real estate investors. Investor Fuel is a community of hundreds of the nation's top investors working together to build stronger businesses and better lives. In addition to the amazing community of real estate investors acting as a board of advisors for one another, Investor Fuel members have access to 100% funding on purchase and repairs for our members only, a health insurance program, and benefits and discounts that more than pays for the membership of most of our members, meaning it's actually costing you money to not be a member of Investor Fuel. If you're looking to scale your business and build a business that allows you to live the life of your dreams, please visit investorfuel.com today and book a call with our team.
In Pennsylvania, you don't have to have a law degree or be an attorney to be a title agent. In fact, a lot of the best closers I work with around here are not lawyers, and that's perfectly fine. Most people probably prefer that. But yeah, I definitely dipped my toe into closings and refinances when I was doing the transactional work. I did get my title insurance license many moons ago, ended up kind of going into a different direction and didn't really use it. I let it lapse. But doing closings is not really where my passion is. I
Right.
leave that to the other real estate pros.
Yeah, so what you define there is you have a more an entrepreneurial spirit, and I can see the avatar for somebody that likes to do closings is because I'm at the closing table a lot for doing deals, and I can see exactly what you're saying. It's like if somebody that wants to is okay with being shackled, I guess, or tied to a desk and going over paperwork, and this is their thing. There are plenty of people like that. But if you've got that inkling to be outside or to do something else, or what you defined as an entrepreneurial spirit, that is, that's just different. It's just a different genre.
Absolutely. How many times can you handle getting, where's my HUD emails? So it's just not where my heart lies.
Well, and the other thing you said that I see is true in my market is we do have to have attorneys, but there's these workarounds, and the title agents that are really entrepreneurial or go-getters, they're not at the table. They're letting somebody else take care of that, and they're going out there and getting the business. So I definitely see exactly what you're talking about. So all right, so from there, so you made the transition. How did you go out on your own, or what did that transition look like? If you were to look at it and kind of tell the story, how did that transition happen?
Yeah, so I was working doing estate planning, wills and trusts. Everybody thinks it's morbid. I loved it. And I am an investor myself. So I had acquired a large commercial property, mixed use, but commercial. And it needed a ton of renovation, and it was really a full-time job, just property or project managing that. So I ended up kind of going out on my own full time when I acquired that building. And I want to say it was about 2012, 2014-ish. And I was doing that full time for myself, managed all my other properties. And then just a natural progression, got my real estate agent license, then became a broker, opened my own, got some more clients for the property management, opened a property management company, and here we are.
Here we are today. So how long has that? So it's been since 2012 when you get the genesis of you got your building and you learned the ropes of managing property, and then you decided, okay, you acquired more property, and then you decided to offer that as a solution to other people that had property.
Exactly.
Yeah,
I got my real estate agent license in 2017, and I became a broker last year in 2024. So now I have my own agency and my own property management company, not just for my own properties anymore, but now I take on clients.
Gotcha. And so how did you start marketing yourself? How did people get to know Courtney and her superpowers?
Well, fortunately, being from a smaller area, you can't really throw a rock around here without hitting someone you know or someone your parent knows. That's why you always have to behave. That's what I say. So, yeah, a lot of it was, sphere of influence, SOI, and, social media. There's pros and cons to that, but, for business purposes, you're really able to get your name, your likeness out there.
If you're looking for consistent, high-quality leads, look no further than Investor Machine. Investor Machine isn't just another agency. It's the most sophisticated, data-driven lead generation company on the planet for real estate investors, and serves the role of being not just a lead generator for your business, but a marketing partner that is helping you achieve your goals along the way. Go to investormachine.com to learn more and schedule a call with our team today.
And just kind of, start building a brand. I mean, you are the brand, which is different, but you're the brand. So just getting your name and your face and, your skill set out there. LinkedIn has been great. I use Facebook a lot. I have a business page on Facebook, and, I just kind of post, what I'm up to and how I think I can bring value to people. And so far it's been working.
Oh, that's awesome. So basically, one of the things that we're able to do today is get our message out there online, and then the sphere of influence is big. It's just, hey, people that know your journey and know you're going into property management, and they're able to refer you business. So what does your business look like these days? How many properties are we managing, and what's your team look like? Do you use any, how do you use assistants? Some people are heavy on virtual assistants. Some people are like, no, we use people that are here in the States. What's that look like for you?
Yeah, so I just started my own brokerage, 2024, it's barely 6 months. So I'm a one-man show in one-woman show in that regard. Looking to build the team, though. I mean, any agent with no experience or more experience than me, welcome to join me. I have a great transaction coordinator who was a realtor and is a very specialized appeals paralegal.
Yep.
So he's amazing. Other than that, I do it on my own.
Okay, gotcha. Yeah, that is I remember I had a property management company for, I tried to flip houses, have a property management company, and have a roofing company. Hold on here. And then help other flippers with their construction. And I found that I was not good at any of them except one, which was flipping my own houses. I was okay at property management. I was okay at roofing. And I was just okay at the other things, but I was really good at flipping my own houses. And it wasn't until I just go, all right, I took 3 years. I had a coach that told me, he said, yeah, you know what? Here's the thing. You're making a little bit of money on each one, but you're not making really, a good income altogether. But if you focused on one thing, just headlong in that, you do really, really well. It took me about 6 months to pull the trigger and close all those things down and just concentrate on that one thing that I'm good at. And then things just started happening from there. It's amazing what focus can do for you. So, yeah. So what are some of the challenges that you have in your market right now? What does that look like?
I think marketing challenges for me personally is, I'm not a millennial. I'm old. I was born in the 70s. I'm pushing 50. So, there's AI stuff, and, I feel like my mom right now. But, I think I do my best with social media and Canva and, Instagram and whatnot. But, I have a company right now who's building me a website because I have no idea where to even start with that. All I know is GoDaddy, how to purchase the URL. That's all I know. So I have, a team building a website, and I've signed up for some marketing coaching, which has been great. But I think that's probably my weakness in terms of branding is just I'm like kind of high tech, but I'm not super tech savvy, with all this new stuff that's coming out. So that's probably where my weaknesses lie.
Yes, I can identify with that. So I think we're probably in the same generation. I think the weakness that you and I share is this at the speed at which somebody that's 20 years younger can do something and put it online and get it out there and it look a lot better. And we're thinking about this thing for an hour and a half before we put it out. But it is a challenge. But one of the things I was looking at today is I'm using AI, but I don't think I'm using it to the utmost. But I do know that that's where things are headed, and so I've got to do my best to just stay on top of that. I have used it really for a lot of different things that have been really great productivity hacks. So I'm interested in what that will look like here in the near future. But you also, so we talked about probate, inherited homes, and that's something that it's kind of been a niche for you. So you've helped people you helped it in your attorney life, and then do you do that still now with inherited properties?
If you're a new or newer real estate investor looking to launch or grow your real estate investing business, please check out Investor Fuel Club. It's a coaching community, but unlike anything you've ever seen before. And you can actually partner with members of our mastermind from coast to coast on deals right in your market. There's no better opportunity to build a consistent business than to literally partner with pros to help you avoid costly mistakes, avoid the need for capital to do deals, and help you eliminate your fears as you're starting your business. Learn more about Investor Fuel Club at investorfuel.com/club.
How are you reaching out to those people and helping those folks with if they were to inherit a home from grandma or grandpa or mom or dad? What's that look like for you?
Right. So a lot of local attorneys who, I've worked with over the many, many years are, I'm very fortunate. They respect my experience and my education, and they send me clients who they are probating estates for. If they are inheriting something that they just don't want or don't need. Excuse me. I'm very fortunate that a lot of local attorneys send me referrals and clients that they're working with in the probate process, or even in the estate planning process. Earlier in, real estate is kind of everywhere in law. So very fortunate with that. And then I try to really, promote myself with, it might sound crazy, but funeral homes and funeral directors who see people who, may not have a gigantic estate and need a probate attorney, but may have a property that they don't want and want to sell. So, I just try to, maintain my authenticity and just kind of, rely on people locally who are familiar enough with me and trust me with their own clients.
So, the process of inheriting a home, or even when somebody dies and they have the estate, they have an asset like a house to sell. It's always interesting to me that when you have an estate attorney and they refer you, because I'm a little bit like you. I get referred out by estate attorneys because they know that you, Courtney, are going to handle this with the proper care and attention that it's handled. You're not just going to go in there and just try and do a chop shop and say, okay, here's what I can pay for your house. Here's what we can do. You're going there to kind of shoulder to shoulder with these people, very empathetic and trying to see if you're the solution. Now, are you an investor that will purchase these houses, or are you pointing them towards somebody that can solve that problem?
No, I'm not an investor in that regard, but I can either point them in the direction of investors who I know would be interested in buying their properties, particularly if it's a blighted property or, terribly run down and it needs either to be flipped or, dismantled completely. I have a lot of contacts who buy properties like that. I have some other investor contacts who, could buy a $400,000, $500,000 inherited property. Or I can simply just list it on the local MLS, as a traditional listing and find them a buyer that way. So depending on the situation, I can steer them in the right direction.
Okay, well, I want to go through this a little bit. So again, I'm going to throw some spaghetti at the wall with you on these questions. So you're somebody that they trust, and they refer you to these folks, and you're not. Do you never take down these properties yourself? You never offer that as a solution. Hey, I am a real estate investor. I may be able to help you and buy this property from you for a certain price. Does that never happen in those instances?
It hasn't happened. It's not that it wouldn't or couldn't. I mean, if the situation, if all the stars lined up and the property and the price were right and it worked out, I'd be happy to buy an inherited property that someone didn't want. Then I could rent it out and make income or flip it, what have you. That situation hasn't arisen for me yet. Typically, I either find them someone who buys cash properties, or like I said, just list it kind of traditionally and find them a buyer.
Gotcha. So you get paid on the brokerage of that. Okay. All right.
Yeah. Hmm.
Yep. Okay. Awesome. And you've written a book, I think, in the back. So is that basically for mostly in Pennsylvania, or is that just a marketing piece? Tell me about that.
Yeah, so it's ghostwritten. I commissioned it, and I just got it not too long ago. So it's sitting there proudly on my desk. I'm going to share it with, as I mentioned before, some of those local probate attorneys, funeral home supervisors, clients, who I know have inherited a property and are kind of looking for a little bit of advice. So, I'm here to help. That's I'm a helper. That's what I'm here to
Yeah.
do. So,
Well, I like that. So, because I know that you run into this, is because sometimes you're dealing with people that haven't had a real estate transaction in 20, 30, even 40 years. They've had the house for a long time. And so they don't know what they don't know. And what's good about having that as kind of not just a marketing piece, but just something that can help them. Hey, this is the process. This is what you're looking at. This is how this is probably going to work out is a great tool. And I'm sure it kind of helps, helps them and helps you because it helps you become the authority on, how to navigate the inherited home. So
yeah,
I love it.
absolutely. Thank
Yeah.
you.
All right. So what else in your life so you lived in Massachusetts. What caused you to move back to Pennsylvania? Was Pennsylvania home? What's the origin story? Why Courtney in Pennsylvania and not Massachusetts if you love Boston so much?
I know. Go Red Sox. Everybody always says, "Why did you come back?" But I mean, this is home. This is where my family is. This is where everybody is. So, I just decided instead of staying in Massachusetts after law school for 2 years, 5 years, why start, at a law firm there just to leave in the future? So I came right back. I found my dream job out of law school in Kingston, Pennsylvania, my hometown, which is super tiny. And kind of went from there. But I get that question a lot. It's like, oh, I'm from here. I went away for 8 years for education, Boston, blah blah blah, and then I came back, and people just say, why? Family. I mean, that's the only thing I
Yeah.
can. That's the only answer I have.
Well, no, that's good. I can see that we live where we live because we got a lot of family by, and I think it makes life a lot more enjoyable when you have close family by. However, you said go Red Sox, yet you're from Pennsylvania. I don't get it. No, Pittsburgh or the Philadelphia. It's how did this all happen? You only
No.
went to Boston for law school. How did you become a Red Sox
Years.
fan?
Well, I became a Red Sox fan because they'll kick you out of Boston if you're not. It's
Right.
also, well, I'm convinced it's in the water. I grew up a Mets fan, not a fan of Philly sports. I'm not an Eagles fan. I'm not a Phillies
Hmm.
fan. Um, Grew up, here, but a
Was that
Mets.
because was your dad a Mets fan, or how did that
No, no,
shake out?
my dad's a boxing fan. He's not really a sports guy. I just kind of was watching the World Series in probably about 1986, 1987 when I was nine,
Right,
10
with
years
Bill
old. And
Buckner. Yes, yep,
yeah,
absolutely.
yeah,
Yeah.
Gary Carter was my hero, and
Hmm.
Darryl Strawberry, Lenny Dykstra. I could go on and on. So I was a Mets diehard until '99 when I
Jesse
moved to Boston.
Orozco. Yes, they had some great players on their team.
We have some teams.
I'm a Cardinal fan, and in the '80s we hated each other. We hated the Mets. The Mets, with the Cardinals, were
Yeah.
probably bigger rivals, as much so as the Cubs and the Cardinals. But
The
I
biggest
remember what's
the
that?
big, the biggest question for New England sports is, do you think Tom Brady is the GOAT or not? That's the big question.
Yeah, yeah, and you would side with him being the GOAT, correct?
100%. Yes.
Yeah, absolutely. He's definitely the best quarterback of all time. There's no doubt
Definitely.
about it. And I'm a guy that's I have nothing to do with the Northeast at all, but I can recognize greatness. He's pretty
Right.
great.
Right. I was
Um,
fortunate enough to be in Boston when he won his first Super Bowl with the Pats.
mhm.
And it was like -12. It was the coldest day of the winter thus far that year. And I waited outside outside for an hour for the victory parade to come down Commonwealth Avenue. It was like a block away from my law school, and it just happened to be between lunch and classes and everything. So a couple of friends and I waited outside and got to see Belichick and Brady and everybody go down Comm Ave on the duck boats. It was amazing. It was absolutely amazing. Cold, but awesome.
Yeah, you'll never forget it. Those are fun. When your team wins the either the Super Bowl or the World Series, there's just nothing like it, especially a parade like that.
Yeah.
I'm a college basketball fan. I went to the University of Arkansas around the same time, and we won the national championship in basketball. And this was '94 or something. That's a long time ago.
Nice.
And I'll never. It was such a cool thing to be on campus for something like that.
Yeah.
So yeah, so not a Mets fan anymore. Boston, you're Red Sox fan, right? Or are we still?
The Mets will always be in my heart a little bit, but yeah, I'm all Red Sox right now. So I have to say it. Yankees suck.
Yeah,
I have to say it.
Yeah, absolutely, absolutely. Well, Courtney, I love where this went. We're obviously I love sports. It's so much fun.
Me too.
But so we did talk about this, and one of the things is that we all struggle with is, or that we're all learning more about is marketing and marketing and work-life balance. Let's go on the work-life balance. Is that a struggle for you? Do you feel like you got that locked in, or you feel like I am working all the time? How does that look like in your life in property management world?
I think I'm managing it. I'm not sure my fiance would agree with you or with me. The thing about property management is I don't think tenants understand boundaries. And I get it. You're renting, you're paying hard-earned money, to live. It's your home. You want everything to be as perfect as you can. And I get that. Now, obviously, an active leak is a legit emergency, but, there's a lot of texts or messages I get, at 1 o'clock, 2 o'clock, 5 o'clock in the morning, midnight, on Christmas Day, that, probably could have waited till the next morning, so my phone is pretty much my third arm, and if I get a notification, whether it's a text or an email, like I just feel this compulsion to check it immediately to make sure it's not a tenant experiencing some type of emergency. My family members don't necessarily love that, but I just think in order to do an appropriately good job, you kind of have to be connected.
Right. Yeah. I think that I think it's our fault. We wire ourselves that way. I mean, if we were to go like, we could act like this is supposed to be just a collection device and not a prompt device, which we have a choice. But I'm sure that your customers, your tenants, love the fact that you respond to them right away. So, which is good.
If it's 2 in the morning, they're not getting an immediate response. I can tell you that much. But and some people work overnights or third shift or swing shift, and I understand that life isn't 9 to 5, and that's just the nature of this industry. Even just being a real estate agent or a real estate broker. Somebody might need to see a house on a Friday night or a Sunday morning. And, that's just where, we make our own schedules for the most part, but we really are at the mercy of our clients and, happy to do it. Happy to do it.
Yes, ma'am. Well, Miss Courtney, if people want to, or in your market and they need property management, where can they find you?
Awesome. So my brokerage is the Brenner Agency, and my cell phone number or my third arm number is 570-885-3265. You can also find me on Instagram, Facebook, and LinkedIn, Courtney M. Brenner. And the property management company is called Manage 570. That's our telephone exchange around here. You could just find me online. The website is coming, thebrenneragency.com. It is coming. But it's social media and my cell phone is just the best way to reach me for now.
Awesome. Well, Courtney, thank you for being on the Real Estate Pros podcast. I very much appreciate hearing your story. Folks, thanks for watching. And remember, the Real Estate Pros podcast, you can like and subscribe. It's brought to you by Investor Fuel. We'll talk to you next time. We'll see you next episode.
Thanks for joining us for today's Real Estate Pros show. You can learn more about the amazing benefits of the Investor Fuel Mastermind community, including surrounding yourself with hundreds of other rock stars, 100% financing for your deals, and members-only discounts from vendors you're likely already using that, as a member of Investor Fuel, will save you more than the cost of your membership. Visit investorfuel.com to learn more. If you're interested in joining us as a guest of this show, please visit investorfuel.com/pros to apply. You can also check the show notes for access to free resources, how to get access to world-class lead generation, and much more. Don't forget to subscribe so you never miss another episode. Have a great day. We'll see you on the next show.